Hi everyone, welcome to Vinyasa Core or Vinyasa Flow Yoga. Tonight is Monday, so we're doing a Vinyasa Flow, and the balance or the theme of the practice tonight is going to be balancing. And yeah, so you don't need any props or anything unless you're used to using them. So grab a block or strap if you're used to it. Otherwise, it's not required and you just need your mat. So we'll get started right away and in Sukhasana, cross-legged position. Go out to your mat. So get comfortable. You can prop yourself up with a block if that feels good. If this always feels like your back is kind of rounded in this position, then a block will help you have a straighter posture is what you want to start with. So we'll just start with the hands on top of the knees and palms face down. You can turn your palms open towards the ceiling if you would like. So first start by lifting the shoulders up to the ears and then rolling them down and back. So we'll do a few rounds of that, inhaling up and then exhaling down and back. Deep breath in and then exhale down and back. Up. Okay, and then finally just one more. Inhale up and then exhale down and back, and then just feel the weight of your hands on your knees and your elbows hanging down, and just try and relax here for a moment. Just noticing your body sitting, the sit bones grounding into the floor or into your block. Chin, you can bring it slightly tucked in towards your chest. So you can notice how your core just kind of slightly starts to take over here just by the act of sitting, trying to sit up with a tall posture in this pose. See if you can start to relax the knees down a little bit more. Feeling free to close your eyes, by the way, or just kind of soften your focus on one single object in front of you. Notice the sound of your breath. So just taking one more, just trying to be still as possible. Breath in and then you can exhale out. So we'll begin some movement here. So turn the palms face down if they are up, and then we'll begin moving around the circle motion. So inhale, moving forward, and exhaling, moving back. You can get the shoulders involved with this as well, rolling them up to the ears and pulling them down and back. So just picking up one direction to move to start. See if you can get a little more range of motion each time. You're trying to keep your hands kind of pressing the knees and the thighs down just to keep yourself kind of anchored down. Now we're going to switch the direction. So inhale forward again and then exhale back. And then slow that motion down. Okay, so we're going to round and release. So we're going to cow-cat, tuck your chin in and round the spine, and then inhale, lift your chest forward, you're arching the spine, pulling the shoulders back. And again, just keep the hands anchored onto those knees there. Go for it, exhaling and inhaling. So you want to feel the shoulder movement as well. So just really notice that the shoulders pulling forward, and then using your back muscles to pull those shoulder blades back when you're arching. Lift your chest forward, lean forward. And one more. Inhale, and then back to center. Now we'll twist, reach up with the arms, and then twist to your right. Take the left hand onto your right knee and look over your shoulder. And then release, reaching up with both arms. Inhale, exhale to the other side, looking over your left shoulder. All right, releasing from there. Now reaching up with both arms. Inhale, and then exhale, bow forward, dropping the head. Breathing into the back here. Walking a little bit to the right, reaching with your arms at an angle. You can bow your head towards the knee. Walking over to the left side, doing the same, just trying to drop your weight down, breathe, pull the hips back at the same time. Come on forward, back to center. Let's come up into seated again, and then take the hands just slightly back behind you, and then we're going to arch back and just lean back into the hands. Breathing deep there. Try to draw those shoulder blades back as far as possible, squeezing together behind you. And then forward. So from here, tabletop position. So see if you can bring your hands in front of you and just pull and rock forward at the same time so that you're in tabletop position. If that doesn't work, then you're just spinning around and then moving into tabletop from there. 7 and 4s, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Begin cow-cat, rounding the spine, exhaling, and inhaling, dropping the belly. Exhaling, rounding the spine, inhaling, dropping. Okay, so we'll do our first test of balance right away here in bird dog position. Take your right leg back behind you and your left arm forward. And we're going to make it a little bit more challenging by taking the left arm out to the left and then the right leg out to the right. So it could be just a slight range of motion. It could be kind of straight out if you want to. Try to keep the leg and the arm hovering as best as you can. Bring it back so that you're vertical again, and then bring it down. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So the left leg's going to go back, the right arm's going to reach forward. And just hold in there so you're finding your balance in this position and then taking it to the next level by taking the left leg out to the left and the right arm out to the right. So you'll feel your core muscles kick in right away 100 more times. Try to keep the hovering with the arm and the leg. And then bring it back to center, vertical, and then bring it down. Okay, round the spine. Release the spine to cow, and then back to neutral spine. Right leg comes back again. Swing it out to the right. I'm gonna face this way. And then open your right arm. One breath here, and then bring it down, and then walk over to the foot. Reach towards your right foot, bow to the knee. And release, so come on back to center. Rise up, reach up with both arms. Inhale, take the right arm down to the right leg. Looking up maybe at the left arm here. Okay, and then just again, just kind of getting the core a little more activated here by taking that bottom arm, the right arm, off of that leg and just reaching straight forward. So you may not feel it a ton if you didn't put a ton of weight down on your arm, or you're not relying on yourself to just kind of be propped up by your leg, but you definitely will feel it if you were. So again, just kind of using your core, you're leaning over, but you're using your core muscles to keep you stabilized in this position. So you can drop your bottom arm and then release out of that side bend, and then we're just going to take it back to center. So down to tabletop pose, and then switch sides. The left leg is going to go back, swing out to the left, open up the left arm, so get the chest open, do that rotation, breathing into the shoulders, breathing into the belly here, close it, and then walk over to the left foot and bow right to the knee. Pressing down a little bit to that ankle, to that outer ankle, that left foot. Okay, releasing, come back to center, rise up, reaching up with both arms, and that left arm is going to go down to the leg, and you're in a side bend. So that right side should feel the stretch right now. Okay, so we'll get that core to kick in by lifting that hand, that bottom hand, off of the ground, or off of your leg, and start reaching. So both arms are off of your body and you're just hovering here. Think about drawing navel to spine as best as you can. And then you can bring that left hand back down and then just slowly come out of that position and down. Okay, bring your hands back onto the floor, bring the left knee back in, and round your spine. Hold that rounded spine, so just keep tucking in, rounding the upper back, and then drop belly and hold that. Breathing into belly in cow, and then back to neutral. Okay, so we're going to tuck the toes under, and then we're going to hold the knees, or lift the knees so that they're just above the floor, hovering here. So in a tabletop, hovering, and then we're going to lift the right foot off of the ground, hovering that, okay? So you should feel your left leg really kick in, the quadriceps really kick in there. Bring it back onto the floor, and then lift the left foot off of the ground. So try to keep that right knee just hovering above the floor. So do not lift your bum up like down dog. We're trying to keep it nice and low in the back, flat. And then bring your left foot down. Do the right leg again as best as you can. Keep holding. Down, and then left leg. One more time here. Try to keep holding, breathe through it. And down. Good job. Bring the knees onto the floor, and then just sit back onto your heels. You can come up onto your knees if that's too much flexion for you. Otherwise, you're just sitting back onto your heels. Raise your arms above your head. Clasp your hands. Reach up. Press your palms up. Lean to the right side. And then come back to center, and you're leaning to the left side. So meanwhile, we're really stretching out soles of the feet here. You should feel that in your toes, in your feet. And then come back to center, and then release your arms nice and open, and then bring it down. Walk forward to down dog. So hands down, tuck toes, lift up the hips, and walk it out. So pedaling the feet out or rocking the hips from side to side. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Breathe. Right leg comes back, just stretch it back behind you. Doesn't have to lift up high off the ground. Bring it back down, and then the left leg reaches back, and then bring it down. Look forward at the hands, step up to them, and just come into that forward fold at the top, and hang the head, hang the arms, sway if that feels good. Back to center, rise up all the way, and we'll come up to standing. Lift arms above your head, and then open up the arms and sweep forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the floor, and step your right foot back. Drop your right knee down to the ground. Sweep the arms up, just one breath here, and then exhale, hands down. Step back into plank pose. You can do the three-legged chaturanga if you are with me and working on balance today. For all these ones here, we're going to do three-legged chaturangas tonight. So coming down, you can also drop that right knee to the floor and still do the three-legged chaturanga. You're in up dog, and then we're coming back into downward facing dog. The right foot's going to step forward, and then the left knee is going to come to the floor. Arms are going to reach up. One breath, and then we're bringing the hands down to the ground. We're going to step forward to the top. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up all the way. Bring your hands together at the top, over above your head, and then bring the thumbs to the back of your head. Lean back, opening up the chest, dropping the shoulders, opening up the shoulders. Okay, reaching up through the arms, and then open up and hinge forward. Bring it all the way down. Forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor, and step your left foot back, left knee down. Arms reach up for just one breath in crescent lunge. Hands down to the floor, step back into three-legged chaturanga. So right leg is floating this time. You're lowering through chaturanga, to up dog or cobra, and then we'll come back into downward facing dog. The left foot steps forward, right knee down, arms up, one breath, inhale, exhale, hands down, step forward to the top of the mat, and inhale halfway, exhale, fold, and inhale, rise up all the way, reaching up, hands to your heart. Clasp your fingers here, press down, and lift your arms above your head. Lean to your right side. Come back to center. Lean to your left side. Come back to center. Open up the arms and float all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, drop your right knee down to the floor. Arms lift to the sky. Inhale, exhale, hands to the floor. Come back to that three-legged chaturanga. Again, that left leg lifted. This time, bring the left foot out to the left, and then bring it back, and then left again. So you're doing that split plank, and then back to center. You can do the floating like I am, or you can do a dragging your foot along the floor kind of thing, and then back, and then lower through chaturanga. Bring it into up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, left knee down to the floor, arms up, inhale, exhale, hands down to the floor. Step forward to the top, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold, inhale, rise up all the way. Palms touching, and then thumbs to the back of the head. Elbows bent. Try to bring your elbows close together, so pull them in towards each other as best as you can. And lift the arms. Open up, hinge forward all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down. Step your left foot back. Left knee down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down, step back. The right leg is going to do this. I'm going to just go to this side here. So your right leg is going to go touching to split plank, and then back. Hovering the whole time. Over, and then back, and then one more time. Split, and then back to hover, and then you lower through chaturanga to the up dog or cobra, and then back into downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward, right knee down, arms up, inhale, exhale, hands down, step forward to the top. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold, inhale, rise up all the way. Hands to your heart, clasp your fingers, press down, lift your arms, lift your heels off the ground. So get nice and high in your posture. Try to lift up to the ceiling. Okay, and then bring the heels back onto the floor and then lean to your right side. Lean over to the right and then lift your left leg off the floor to the left. So as best as you can, as high as you can, without trying to sacrifice the integrity of the pose. And just try and keep that focus. Doesn't have to be super high, just enough so that you feel that in your left hip there. Your left hip should feel like there's muscles working there. They're getting a little activated. And then come back to center, and then we'll do the same thing over to the other side. So take your lean with your arms, so find that reach, engage your core, and then lift that right foot off the ground, and just try and maybe getting a little bit higher as you get a little more confident in your balance. Again, focusing ahead of you, on the floor perhaps, just ahead of you, just to kind of keep that focus, lifting your head up high. And then releasing, all right. And then coming back to center, and let the arms go, take the hands back behind you and clasp your fingers behind you. Now pull back and really try to pull the arms away from your back and from your tailbone. Okay, now bow forward all the way, dropping the head. Legs are mostly straight, but you can bend into your knees. Okay, and then from here, we're going to bring the hands on to the low back, and then we're going to start to bend the knees, and then we're going to start to lift the heels off the ground at the same time, and keep lifting the chest, and then release the arms straight forward, and then try to pull the shoulders back, and then try to keep lifting those heels. Okay, so just almost like your chair pose, Utkatasana. Heels are lifted though. Try to keep the chest lifted. You should feel this in your quads. Now we're going to try and keep the heels lifted as we press the stand, and then drop the heels down to the ground. And then release the arms, sweep up, and then sweep down, hinge forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring the hands to the floor, so you can bend your knees to do this, and bring your right leg back in a standing split. So just straight behind you. And again, you can look like this with your knee bent, or you can hold onto a block or two blocks if you need to do that. And then from there, just reach way back with that leg, that right leg, and then come into a low lunge. Dropping that bottom knee to the floor, arms reach up. Okay, we're going to twist to the left side. So the right arm is going to go forward, the left arm is going to reach back, and just reaching through those arms. With your left arm, you're going to reach to the back of the right leg behind you, and then you can stay just looking over your left shoulder here, or you can look forward and you can look up. Okay, we're going to release out of this position. windmilling the hands, right hand to the floor, and then the right knee is going to come up off the floor, and then the left arm is going to reach up. So you're going to lunge, twisted lunge, with this time the back knee off the floor. With your right leg, you're activating that right leg, so you're pushing it back through the heel on that right leg, and you want to feel the kneecap lift up, or the back of the knee lift up, so that the right quadricep muscles feel like they are engaged as well. Bring the left hand back onto the floor. Step back into three-legged plank pose. Okay, this time with that left leg, we're going to kick it underneath the right leg. For split side plank, you can bring it to the floor. If this hovering, the bottom leg is too hard, then just bring it to the floor. Holding for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then come back to the three-legged chaturanga if possible, and lower through, lifting into up dog or cobra, and then come back into downward facing dog. Walk it out. Right foot steps forward, left knee to the floor, arms up, and then twisting to the right. Left arm forward, right arm back. Reaching through the arms, and keep the arms active, but try to keep the shoulders pulling down. Now with the right arm, we're reaching for the left leg and tipping back. So you can look over the right shoulder, or you can look up at the ceiling. We're going to windmill out of that pose. Plant the left hand to the floor, lift the left knee up off the floor, reach your right arm up. Breathing into that twist. Now left leg should be activated. Think about lifting up through the back of the left knee. Bring your right hand to the floor, and now bring your right leg back and kick it underneath the left leg. So you're in the hovering side plank position, or you are just dropping your foot down to the floor for the modified position. You should feel in the inner thighs. That's what we want to work here. Stabilize your muscles here. Really good for balance. So even if you can hold it for 2 seconds, that is great. Okay, come back around to plank pose. 3 to 4 legged chaturanga. Let's go. Exhale, and then inhale to that upward facing dog or cobra. Holding this a little bit longer. Breathing into it. Another deep breath in, and then bring it all the way down to the ground, chest, belly, and head just hovering above the floor. Okay, roll the shoulders, pull the shoulder blades back. Inhale, press up. Exhale, release. Roll the shoulders, press up. Inhale, exhale. Roll, inhale, exhale. One more. Rolling, inhale, and exhale. Okay, take one short little break here, resting the cheek onto the floor. Just finding a neutral spine for a moment. Breathe a belly breath in and out. All right, and then bring the arms forward here. Lift the left leg up and the right arm up at the same time. Left leg, right arm. Just try to keep those two hovering above the floor. Head is lifted. And then switch. So the opposite hands are are lifted, and then the other hands, opposites, are down. They're touching the floor, they're grounding. Switch again. And then switch. And then releasing. So bring the hands back underneath your shoulders and then press up. Walk your knees in, then drop your forearms down to the floor and move around in circle motion. All right, and then come back to center. Tabletop, downward facing dog. Look forward at your hands, step or hop up to the hands. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up all the way, reach up. Take the hands back behind you, clasping your fingers back behind you and pull back. Inhale, exhale, bow. Bring your hands onto your low back. Just like before, we're gonna start bending the knees. The knees bent, chest is just kind of laying on top of your lap at this point. Then you're going to lift your heels. From there, release your hands, forward. So hands same height as your shoulders as best as you can. Pull the hips back, lift your chest, pull the shoulders back, breathe. Sink a little bit lower and then start to lift up slowly, keeping the heels up the whole time until you're standing straight, and then drop your heels down, then lower your arms down, and then lift your arms up. Inhale, then exhale, flow down. Hands touch the floor, left leg lifts. So you're standing split position. And again, you can use blocks to do this. And step it all the way back so that you're in a lunge position. Drop your bottom knee to the floor or your back knee, and then reaching up. Open to the left. Reaching up. I'm going into extended side angle from here. So we're bringing the hand on the inside part of that left foot, and then we're going to lift up that back knee, and then right away turn the foot so that it heels down to the floor. Okay, if you know that this is way too much for you or too far, then you're up here. Top arm just reaching straight up. We want to open up the chest as best as we can, so we want to lean back to the right, and navel pulling to the spine. Right knee's tracking forward. It's got a good pressure going on my back of the arm to the inner right knee as well. So they're pushing against each other, and that's activating the pose that's opening the hip a lot more. Okay, we're gonna come up into warrior two position from here. So ground through the legs, reach up, and here we are, warrior two pose. Come up into reverse warrior, back and right arm overhead, over ear, breathing into that position. Come back into warrior two position. Face forward in a warrior one position. And then coming to warrior three position. Leaning forward, lift your back heel, so both toes are pointing forward at this point, then lifting off. Reaching forward. Now if it's too much to reach your arms alongside your ears, and your hands are down here to your heart. From here, we're going to keep standing up onto that right leg, and we're going to pull the left knee up and give it a hug. Okay, and then then from here, we're going to move into dancing Shiva. So we're turning the right knee out. I'm just going to turning the left knee out, sorry. Flexing the foot, and then we're going to take mudra, and we're going to sink down. So the hips are pulling back, just like you're going to sit back into a chair. And then start to lift the chest. Draw the elbows back. Now if it's too much to hover the leg, then you can bring it more, holding just the knee up, bent knee. Or if it's too much to bend your standing knee, then you are here. So you can straighten up and just hold this position. If that is your max, that's where you're going to stay. Okay, holding for 3, for 2, and for 1. And then we're going to stand, kick the left leg back, and airplane. No space back behind me. Airplane up. We're just going to keep flowing in balance here. We're going to take revolved half moon. So the left hand is going to come down to the ground, left hand, and the right arm is going to wing open. And you're going to look over the right shoulder, maybe up at the ceiling. And then close that twist off, right hand down to the floor. Step back into lunge. Step back into plank. Lower through chaturanga. Bring it into up dog or cobra. And then come back into downward facing dog. Walk it out. Left leg lifts back behind you. Take an inhale and then exhale, step your left foot forward. Right knee down to the floor. Second side here, reaching up with the arms, open to the right. Okay, moving into extended side angle from here. So bring the left hand down on the inside part of the left foot. Lift your right knee off the floor, spin the heel down to the floor. Reaching up with your right arm. Okay, so applying generous pressure of your inner left knee to your outer left arm, elbow, tricep there, and keep opening, leaning to the right side to open up the hip. You're also putting some pressure on the outer edge of your right foot, pushing it down to the floor. Okay, ground the legs. We're coming up to warrior 2. Reaching up through the arms. Breathing, dropping the tailbone down. Let's go back to reverse warrior. Lift the left arm up. All right, coming to warrior 2 position, and then face forward into warrior 1 position. Warrior 3 is next. Lean forward, lift that back heel up off the floor and go. All right, so coming out, still balancing on the left foot. You want to pull that right knee up and hold on to it. And just try to drop the tailbone. Breathe into that. Moving into dancing Shiva next. So turning the right knee out, flexing the foot, and focusing ahead of you. Pulling the hips back. Lifting the chest. Jayi breath. standing up all the way, airplane. Reach your right leg back and arms open. All right, the right hand's going to come down and the left arm is going to wing out. Revolt half moon is next. Maybe looking over your left shoulder for this one. Think about the head pulling forward, so try to get as much length through the spine as possible, reaching back through that back leg. Inner thighs are spiraling towards each other. All right, releasing out. So let's bring the hand to the floor, step back to lunge, and then from lunge right away to plank. So we're just holding that plank position. If you absolutely need to, you're dropping your knees to the floor, but otherwise holding. Two more breaths. All right, go ahead and lower through chaturanga. Lift into up dog or cobra, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can go to child's pose. Now bring the knees down, knees wide, and sink back. Stretching the back out, shoulders, arms. All right, so slowly bringing it back up. Okay, toes tuck under from here. We're going to Vinyasa. So you're going to walk the hands towards your feet and just kind of push yourself back so that you are rocked right up onto the balls of the feet. So the feet are together. Toes, big toe mounds are kind of touching, and then your heels can be as close as possible together here. But the knees are going to be wide for this one. So it's a forward fold, but the balance part is you're going to be balancing on the toes and the balls of the feet here. So you can start by just holding that position. So knees wide, shoulders down and back. As best you can. If you need to go to hero's pose, so that's just kind of dropping down those knees down to the floor, then absolutely you can, okay? So I'm just gonna turn in a different angle here. Eagle arms in Vinyasa pose here, just before we go to the forward folds. We're gonna take the arms out. The left arm is going to cross over the right arm, and we're holding. So elbows out. And then from this eagle arm position, we'll take our forward fold. So as best you can, staying balanced up onto the balls of the feet. Knees go wide, and you fold right through the center. You'll feel this on the ankles for sure. Breathe into it. And then we're going to release. So we're going to come up and then come out. Sweep arms above head. Inhale. And then exhale, hands in front of you. And then we're going to down dog before we do the other side. So walk it back. Pedal it out. Stretch it out. Bend just into the right knee. Hold that. The left leg is extended, calf muscle stretching. Switch, bend just into the left knee. And then releasing. From down dog, walk back into the Vinyasa squat. Again, I'm just kind of face, get rid of the angle. So knees are wide. Right away we'll go to the other side here. So arms are out, and then take the right arm over the left arm, and then holding that. Bowing forward. Try to keep those heels lifted as best as you can. Breathing into those shoulders. I know it's tough. All right, then come on out. Woo. Reaching up first, inhale. Exhale, hands down and walk forward and walk it out in down dog. Ho, ho, ho. You will have those strongest ankles. All right, let's work on our arms here. To get to this pose, so we're going to say we're going to go back into the squat position. Let's do crow pose. So we're walking back into the squat position. If you want to, you can drop those heels to the floor if possible, and you give yourself more of a stretch that way. Otherwise, let's get right into it. Crow pose, spread your fingers wide on your mat, lift your heels, get your knees up nice and high, right up to the armpits, tops of the tricep. Lean forward, take the weight out of your feet and into your hands. Look forward and press down through the tips of your fingers, through the knuckle mounds of your hands, through the heel of your hands. Try to bring those big toes to touch as best as you can, and then you can release down. Okay, walk forward to plank pose. Lower through chaturanga. Take it into up dog or cobra, hold that. One more breath. And then back up to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg back behind you, bend into the right knee, open up the hip. Step forward into warrior one. Drop your back ankle, back heel to the floor. Reach up warrior one. Come out to warrior two. Reverse warrior. Warrior two pose. Face forward warrior one. Take the hands back behind you, clasping. Pull back, inhale. And then come forward into balance. Forward, and then lift off that left leg. Pull the arms back. From here, moving into eagle pose, we're going to come forward first. We're going to take the arms up. For transition, arms up and then left leg forward, and then we're going to cross the left leg over the right leg, and then the hands down to the heart, so sinking through the hips first. Then the arms come open, and then the right arm goes, I'm just going to face this way so you can see me. Arms go open, the right arm over top of the left arm. Okay, hopefully you're still with me, you guys. Cut out there for a bit. Okay, I think we're still on here. So we're gonna take back into a lunge. The left leg is down to the floor. Hi everyone. We're still here. We just did eagle pose. And yeah, hopefully we're back online. So left leg back, right leg forward. And we're going to reach up, inhale. Exhale, the hands down to the floor, and then we're going to straighten out through the right leg. So the right toes are going to lift off the ground or up towards the ceiling here, so flexing that foot. Now pull on the toes, stretch out that foot. So you can bow forward into this. If you're up here, so if you're not sitting back onto your heel, that's fine, like I am. But most importantly, just try to keep this right foot flexed. All right, so let's come forward into lunge, and then we'll step back into plank pose from there. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale to up dog or cobra. Keep breathing here. All right, come back up into downward facing dog. Walk it out. Left foot is next here. Let's step the left foot forward and go into warrior one pose. Reaching up to warrior one. Come out to warrior two. Come back into reverse warrior. All right, so warrior two pose. Face forward into warrior one. And then take the hands back behind you. Clasp your hands. Pull back. Okay, ready for balance here on this side. So we're going to tip forward. And when you're ready, lift off. Right leg comes back behind you. Keep pulling through the arms, pulling back. Eagle pose is next, so we're going to slowly straighten out. Arms above your head and try to reach that right leg forward first, and then bring the hands to the heart and then cross your leg. So right leg over the left leg, finding your eagle leg first and then reaching out through your arms and then taking the left arm over top of the right arm. Alright, so we're going to release everything to airplane. The right leg's going to come back and the arms are going to wing out. Tip forward, so the hands down to the floor for standing split, and then step all the way back. Drop your right knee now to the floor and then straighten out for half monkey split. The left toes are going to point up towards the ceiling this time, and you can grab onto them to further that stretch. So you're stretching the fascia and the foot and around the ankle and calf as well. And just really breathe into it. So take some exhales, exhale, long exhales out through the mouth, out through the nose. So let's come out of that pose, release forward into lunge, and then from lunge step back into plank pose. So again, we're going to hold the plank pose, but if you are in plank pose, you can't hold it anywhere, then you're just dropping the knees and you look more like this. But don't kind of do halfway in between, drop your hips. Try to keep lifted in through your hips in the plank pose. And definitely if you can try the plank pose as best you can, holding it from the toes as opposed to the knees, then you will work your body just to kind of get used to it, and the more you do it, the longer you'll hold it for the next time. So training the body to just hold that position. We're going to go over to the side, so side plank onto the right side first, so spin the heels. So my heels my feet aren't stacked here. I'm just kind of staggered with my feet. which is a way you can do that, but you can also stack your feet on top of each other. And you can also drop that bottom shin again for the real modified version. Going to the other side, so we're going to go to plank and just roll over. Reaching up with the right arm this time. All right, and then come back to center, and then down through chaturanga again. So bring it into up dog or cobra, and then take it to child's pose. Knees down, sink back. Breathe it out. All right, on your next inhale, we'll come up into tabletop pose, the shoulder opener. Right arm out to the right, up to the sky, and then take your right arm underneath your left arm and bring your shoulder down to the floor. Now lean forward enough so that the side of your head, your right above your ear there is down onto the floor. So this side of your head or your temple down onto the floor. So kind of using the side head as an anchor and the back of your right arm as an anchor. And then you can turn this into a balance pose by lifting your left leg up into the air. Here. For more of a challenging position, you can lift your left arm as well off the ground. Okay, so you're just pretty much balancing on your right side, so knee and back of your arm and head. All right, so if your arm is up, bring it down first, and then you want to bring your leg down. And then you come out of that position. And then we'll do the other side. Left arm is going to reach open to the side and up, and then take it underneath. Just gonna spin this way, underneath your right side here. So your right leg can lift. It doesn't have to, by the way. You can just keep it onto the floor. I'm just putting it out there if you want to try more balancing poses. Your right arm and your right leg can lift. Alright, so bring it down and releasing out, and you can come up into tabletop position from there. Down dog is next. Okay, so step your right foot forward and left knee, and toes pointing to the left side of the mat. So wide-legged standing forward fold. And then just fold into the center here. Okay, so I haven't done any headstands. I'm going to do the full headstand. I'm going to do a frog stand here tonight. And I guess you're going to have to use your own discretion as to whether you want to follow along. I will explain it as best as I can here as we go along, but you can definitely opt out and just hold this split position and just enjoy the stretch here. But I like to get the frog stand from this position. So with your hands are going to be onto the floor, and I'm just right out to the back edge of my mat. My heels are hanging off of my mat, so I can use the space in front of me to put my head down and my hands will still be on the mat. But if you have carpet at home, then that's fine. You can kind of come off the mat as you need to. So the tripod position is going to be, your hands are going to be behind your head. So your head's going to be in front, your hands are going to be back behind. So not side by side. So you don't want to be like this, you want to be more like this. So your hands kind of down, chin, and behind your chin or below your chin. The crown of the head will be on the floor. So that is going to make that tripod. So you want to think about what is grounding into the floor so that you can get as much of a solid base as possible when you lift your legs up. But I'm just going to do the frog stand, and then I can do the frog headstand tonight. So bring the hands onto the floor, and then I'm just bringing my head onto the floor, and then my knees will be right up into my my elbows there. And then I can lift my feet up off the floor like so. So I'm more like in a crow position, and then I can also tuck, and then I can lift right up. Tuck, down, and then that. So I can move my mat so that you guys can see a little bit better of what I'm doing. Head down, and then you can start by just pulling your knees up onto your elbows. So just practicing putting weight into the top of your head is really key. So you don't have to straighten your legs up all the way, but just doing it bit by bit, you know, a few seconds here, just kind of getting this top of your head is really sensitive and you're not used to putting a bunch of weight on it. So if you're not used to doing it, then you don't want to go all gung-ho and right into the headstand if you're not used to it. But definitely it's totally fine to just bring your head onto the floor and just transfer the weight, shift the weight forward, even if you're just rocking your heels off the floor, just to put more weight on your head. And then eventually maybe you're taking more weight into your elbows. So maybe one knee kind of lifts up and maybe the other knee lifts up eventually. Or you can put your feet up on blocks. So your feet are raised up on blocks, and then already your bum is up higher, and then all you have to do is put your head down, and then you already have a lot of the weight, your body weight on your head. But when you are lifting up, right up into the headstand, you want to squeeze everything in, and then think about lifting straight up from there. Squeezing the legs straight, bringing it down, and then back. So that is that. And then if you are just into the split position, that's fine as well. So we'll finish up with the split position from there. So from your split position, we're just going to spin around so that we are in lunge. And then from lunge, we'll step back, lower through chaturanga, bring it into an up dog or cobra, take it into tabletop pose, and then spin the legs around. Okay, so from here we'll take a twist. Left leg forward, right knee bends. Cross it so that the ankle is on the outside of the left knee. Hug your right knee, twist to the right. Let's do a little counter twist to the left side. So you're just keeping your legs where they are, just 2 little twists here, and looking over the shoulder, lifting up really tall. And then you can release out of that, and we'll switch sides. So your right leg straightens out, left knee bends, and the ankle's on the outside of the right leg. So give yourself a hug, and then twist, or you can keep hugging. You don't have to bring the elbow on the outside of the knee. That's just for a little more advanced. out. Over to the other side now. Breathing nice and tall. All right, and releasing out from there. So let's go onto the spine from here. Start pulling it down, rocking, rolling like a ball. Like I said before, you can grab onto the backs of the knees, and you can also have free hands if you're looking to more encourage the core to strengthen a little bit more. So free hand rocking, or grounding the backs of the knees and just kind of using your momentum a little bit more. Inhale back, exhale forward. Try to round the spine as best as you can as you roll back and as you rock forward. You can balance like I am, kind of at the top, or you can just do mini rocks. So you're just doing this, pulling the knees in and rocking, and just kind of keeping your abdominals engaged. A little bit of rocking at a time. That's fine as well. Once you got enough, 5 or 6 of those, and then you're just down to happy baby pose. Bring your head onto the floor and grab onto the knees and or toes or shins, and you're rocking from side to side. So back and forth, back and forth. All right, so bring the feet onto the floor, and let's go to figure 4. Cross your right ankle on your left knee. Lift your left leg, thread through. Grab onto the back of the leg, hamstrings. You can also interlace your fingers and just kind of clasp in front of your shin there, just underneath your kneecap, for more intensity. And that's just drawing the leg in closer to your chest, because whenever it's drawn in closer, that's when you'll start to really feel the intensity. So you can do that, but it kind of depends on how flexible you are as well. So just holding to your own range of motion. Try to keep your head on the floor. Notice if your low back is way off the floor as well. If it is, then you may need to modify. So maybe you're not even holding on. Maybe your foot is up against the wall, so your right foot pushing up against the wall or on top of a chair. And maybe you're just feeling it here, so with your leg quite a ways from your chest, but that's your own flexibility. So you just kind of have to work with what you got. Alright, so we're going to release and go into a twist from here. So we're just going to release that grip. Arms are going to go to a T. With your legs crossed like this, we're taking them over to the left. Now you can keep your legs crossed, but if this feels like it's way too much, then you're uncrossing the legs and just stacking your knees. Maybe the knees are pointed down a little bit more for less intensity. Maybe they're drawn up for more intensity. Just kind of depends on what you would like in your twist. So head can be looking, you can look over your right shoulder or your left shoulder, just depending on how your neck feels. You do slow head rocking motion as well. As another modification for this twist, since we're kind of already in a twist up position, is the pinwheel position. So if you're already in a twist and you just want something a little bit different in your twist, again, I'm going to move around the side. So you are like this, and then you're going to hold on to the top of your right foot and then drop the knee back onto the floor, and you're going to hold on to the left knee with your left hand. Head is going to be on the floor, so you can lift up just a look to see what you're holding on to, but then resting in the position and try to pull everything back down to the floor for the position. So in this position, you're going to feel, if you're holding on to the top of the right foot there, you'll feel your hip flexor on your right side, sorry, on your left hip there, and your left quadriceps stretch little bit more in this position as well. The more you pull your knee over to the right, the more you'll feel it, by the way. Okay, we're just gonna hold this for another 2 deep breaths, in and out. Okay, so releasing, if you're holding onto that left foot there, then release that. We're gonna come out of the position. So back into neutral spine, give yourself a hug, bring the knees in and just squeeze everything in. Breathe into your back, breathe into your belly while squeezing, and then let it go. Switching sides so that your left ankle is crossing on your right knee. And then again, just pick it up and try and find your own range of motion where it's going to be, where you're going to feel the stretch. So is it far away from your chest? Is the shin coming closer to your chest? You just need to just pay attention to what's going on. Your left foot, by the way, try to keep it flexed, meaning the toes kind of pulling back towards the left knee and the heel pushing out. Try to take some deep breaths here. So releasing, and then let's go into our twist. So releasing your grip, your legs are going to go to the right side this time. So again, like I said, that either the twisting the legs or stacking the knees, or you can do the pinwheel on this side. And this side you'll be grabbing onto the right foot with your left hand and your right hand will be on your left knee. So you're pulling yourself into a deep twist. And the more you pull your foot or your knee over to the left side here, the more intensely you'll feel that in the quadricep, your right leg and hip flexor. Make sure you continue just breathing as normally as possible. If you're in this position and you've never been in this position and you feel like you cannot breathe, then you've gone too far. So maybe this would be for you tonight, but maybe in the future it's something you can work towards. Again, you need to kind of focus on your breath to put your breath first. So if your breath is going to be all erratic, then it's not really doing much good for you. So holding for probably another 2 full breaths. And looking over your right shoulder, you can look over your left shoulder. Some little bit of head rocking motion. If you don't have that pinwheel position, then you're stretching your arms out and playing around with the range of motion in your arms and shoulders. When you are ready, we're going to just let go and come out back into the position of pulling knees in towards the chest. And your head can come in, your head can stay on the floor, depending on how that feels. And then ending up in windshield wipers. So the feet to the floor, the knees are bent, and then the knees will go side to side. Arms are open to a T and really stretching out the arms. Arms can also be stretching alongside your ears. So
If you want to really kind of get a good stretch, just play around with that motion and just kind of let the weight of the arms really pull down so that you get the shoulder stretch, you get the chest stretch, and just enjoy it. So deep breaths in, deep breaths out as you're lazily rocking the knees from side to side. And just really trying to use as little energy as possible while you're doing this. So we're about to move into Shavasana. We just want to kind of unwind a little bit just before we get to it. Okay, so we're going to just slow everything down to Shavasana so you can straighten the legs out. Maybe you just want to keep the knees bent, and that's perfectly fine too. Maybe you're putting a bolster underneath your knees to help neutralize your low back or pull that low back down to the floor. That's fine too. So just kind of grab what you need to be as comfortable and as less distracted as possible. So if you feel like you're cold, then grab a sheet, grab a blanket and cover up so that you're not distracted by that sensation. So otherwise, in Shavasana, open the feet out to the sides, open the arms out to the sides, maybe taking up space, palms open to the ceiling, and begin by taking a deep breath in through the nose, nice and slowly, noticing your lungs expand, noticing your belly rise up, and then a long, smooth exhale out through the mouth. Just watching the air move out bit by bit, noticing your lungs pulling down, noticing your belly descending, and the air completely leaving the body. And then repeat that cycle again. So in through the nose, feel your chest rise, feel the rib cage expand out to the sides, and then again, releasing the air bit by bit, nice and slowly. And I say breathe out through the mouth because that does help just kind of relax the facial muscles as well, and it does just give you a good breath out. Sometimes if we breathe out through the nose, we don't exhale out all the air, but breathing out through the mouth is a good insurance that you will take a long exhale out, and therefore just getting your body more into relaxation mode here. Every exhale you take is sending you and sending signals through the body into just a deeper state of relaxation. Letting go of muscular tension, maybe mental tension, as we continue to be in a still state. You're just listening to the sound of your own breath here as you move along. Try to keep the breath as a center point focus for the duration of your Shavasana here. So just keep thinking about it, noticing your inhales, noticing the temperature of the air as it comes in, notice the temperature of the air as it moves out. See if you can let the backs of your legs relax a little bit more. Notice if there's any gripping in the ankles, calf muscles, or knees. Just kind of letting all the muscles smooth out, let go. The backs of the legs, right for the fronts of the thighs, right to the feet again, letting the legs be heavy and rested. Continue focusing on that breath right into the belly, low back. See if you can sink through the low back, mid, and upper back, all resting, contacting the floor. Feel your shoulders pull down and back. Feel the arms rest upon the floor, the backs of the arms to the backs of the hands, all supported. Let go around the neck, soften, sides of the neck, back of the neck, to let the head go and feel like it's supported by the mat as well, by the earth. And soften around through the forehead now. All the muscles around the eyes, the eyelids. Relax the cheeks, mouth, jaw, and tongue in your mouth. Keep softening the throat, your collarbones, your chest, and your abdomen. Once again, bringing that attention back to your breath. Keep following it as it flows in and moves out. Notice your cycle. Notice your rhythm. Notice your whole body breathing and your whole body relaxing and resting together. Taking your time, just bringing more attention back to your breath here. Just slowly guide you to reawaken the body, and just bit by bit, maybe start moving the fingers and toes. Before moving any large muscles, just think about bringing in the breath a lot deeper. So with the breath you're taking in, you're rising and you're kind of lifting your low back off the floor on that inhale and releasing it back onto the floor on the exhale. Some sound back into the breath, and then allowing more and more movement to come through in the body as breath extends through your legs and through your arms. More oxygen just generally is brought more into your body so that you can move around, literally just breathing yourself more alive bit by bit. Adding on any stretches, morning stretch, I always like to stretch arms above head, sweep them around, yawn, and I like to do windshield wipers to get the hips and the spine a little more mobile and more energized after Shavasana. So rolling or rocking over onto your right side from there, and then you can make your way up to seated, or you can continue on just relaxing as you were. So namaste everybody, thanks for joining me tonight for this Monday night class, and check out Wednesday's class if you're into some cardio and strength exercises along with yoga and mobility work. It's a great one on Wednesday as well, a little more challenging, but yeah, otherwise leave a comment below. If you have any questions, you can direct message me as well, and you can check out archived videos on this Facebook page, and you can also look at archive videos on Melissa Shippey YouTube channel. And yeah, that's about it. Like this video if you liked it, and share it if you liked it even more.